All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Church Express. I am your always friendly, capable, and ready host, Kirk Ray Smith, Sr. I want to thank everybody again. We took a kind of a hiatus for a few months there to work on a few other things, but now we are back in the lab, and this morning in the kitchen. And so I'm in the kitchen because I'm cooking up stuff, cooking up information, cooking up insight, cooking up wisdom to share with you each and every Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The beautiful thing about Facebook and YouTube and all of that good stuff is you can share the videos over and over and over. And so you'll never really miss the Church Express, no matter where you are or what you may be up to on this particular Sunday. But welcome to the Church Express. I have some insight for you today. It is a very non-traditional approach for some when it comes to hearing the Word of God. So this isn't a church per se. So there's no elders and pastors and deacons and ushers. There's no offering. There's no place you can visit to donate money or anything like that. This is just the Word of God straight up. No bells, no whistles, no tricks, no games, just straight truth. And I hope, it's my hope that all you who have tuned in with the Church Express, and then those of you who may be joining us for the first time, that you will get something out of each and every message. And that's my prayer for today, that you would learn from what it is that I have to share with you this morning. And the cool thing again about the Church Express, I mean, this is, man, listen, you can stay at home. You know, you can hook up I know some folks, they hook their computers up to the television and they just put it on the big screen and the whole family gathers around to check out the Church Express, which is pretty cool. You ain't got to go anywhere to worry about people. Sometimes you might be traveling, you might be working and can't make it to church, and the Church Express is perfect because you can just hit, when we're live, just plug right in and boom, and there it is right in front of you. Here I am right in front of you. And so it's a good thing, and it works out. And certainly if you are a member of a church, I am not asking you to replace your church with the Church Express, but the Church Express is here for you whenever you need us. And if you're in transition, maybe it's not a church-going person altogether, but you are a Christian, you are a believer, and you're looking for a place to get the word on a regular basis, here I am right here. So with that, let's get lifted. So my question today is this. So the title of this message is a question. And the question is, what kind of person are you? What kind of person are you? Now, I'm not talking about your relationships, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. I'm not talking about your career, your job or profession. I'm not even talking about your ministry if you have one of those. I'm not talking about your possessions. I'm not talking about your bank account. That's not what I'm talking about when I asked you, what kind of person are you? And when was the last time you just stopped and reflected on who you are and asked yourself that same question? What kind of person am I? Who am I? Like, what are you? Why are you here? Why do you exist? I mean, what kind of person are you really? Are you an honest person? Are you a fearful person? Are you a dishonest person? Are you a very, very good person? What's your level of integrity? Like, who are you? Right? And then the next question I would ask you to ask yourself, and I ask myself this as well, because it's important that you constantly check in with yourself, that you consistently check in and ask yourself, who are you? Like, just stop for a minute, slow down, take a moment to ask a few minutes just to check in on you. And what kind of person are you really? Because it's one thing to present an image to people. An image generally is what or who people think we are. But we know who we really are regardless of what our image may be, right? So the question I would ask, in addition to what kind of person am I, is do I have a spiritual core? Do you have a spiritual core? Now, some people are too strong to be spiritual, right? They would tell you that they are too strong, too determined, too tough, whatever, too well off, whatever, to be spiritual. Because many people, believe it or not, believe to be spiritual means to be weak. It means if I'm spiritual, that means that I'm insufficient, inadequate, fall short, whatever. But I need to lean on something spiritual as a crutch, or it's an excuse not to do, or an excuse to fail at something. So I have to lean on being spiritual. And so I would say this, and I've heard people say this, that Jesus Christ, now literally I heard them say this, Jesus Christ and anything associated with Jesus Christ is a crutch. Well, I would argue that not only is Jesus Christ a crutch, I would go further than that. Jesus Christ, for me, Kirk Ray Smith, is a gurney. Because without Jesus, then there's no way I'm vertical, I'm horizontal, I'm done. Without Jesus, I'm finished. He is actually the one that carries me through everything. And all my, every breath that I take, right, every ounce of oxygen that I breathe in, breathe out, is because of Jesus Christ. Every penny that I have, whether it's 10 cents or $10,000, it's because of Jesus Christ. Yes, I work hard. Yes, I have a master's degree. I'm educated. All right. I've worked really hard for many, many years in multiple jobs and all of that. But it's not by might nor by power, but only by his Spirit am I able to stand before you right now today. Now, you can exercise 7 days a week and twice a day if you need to. And you can worship your body and have the six-pack abs and all of that stuff. And nicely defined arms and legs and hips and all that. Great. That's exciting. But I will tell you, it does not matter how many days you work out and how much kale and spinach you eat. It will never be by might nor by your own power, but always by the Spirit of God that you exist. Because there's not enough healthy food on earth. There's not enough exercise programs around to protect you, to give you life. Now, you should absolutely do those things because it's important to take responsibility for your physical health. I certainly do. But I know that only profits a little bit. But my walk with God is the ultimate, my spiritual core. So again, what kind of person are you? Really? And then, do you have a spiritual core? So even if you ask yourself this question, what kind of person am I? And you come out of that internal dialogue feeling pretty good. A good person, I do the right thing, I'm supportive, and all of these wonderful things you use to describe yourself, every positive adjective you can think of. But still the question would be, do you have a spiritual core? Because see folks, here's the thing. Everything you have will pass away. Everybody you know will pass away. You will, I will pass away. Every possession, friendship, accolade, attaboy, or attagirl will pass away. Every paycheck, house, car, vacation, boat, whatever it is, will pass away. But what will remain is your soul. And your soul's condition is predicated on where you are spiritually. See, your spirit will outlive you. Your soul will continue beyond you and all that's around you. So I think it's important that me, all of us, invest in our spiritual well-being, because this is the thing that will stand the test of time and be sustained way beyond our time on earth. But even while we're here on earth, having a spiritual core can make this earthly experience far better, far greater than it is right now. No matter how good you think you have it, you can have it even better if you are strong spiritually. So again, do you have a spiritual core? So the first thing when I start thinking about spiritual core is, again, back to that question, what kind of person am I? So how do I identify? What is my identity? And I've heard people say over and over and over, their whole identity and their whole existence is predicated on their jobs, their careers, or ministries, or whatever. Their whole existence, their families even, is predicated on all these other things. But see, one thing I know about, for example, let's say your whole identity and your whole existence is based on the raising, the rearing of your children, okay? Okay. Now, some of you may or may not know, and you may find it hard to believe because of my youthful looks, that I have 3 sons who are all adults, my oldest being 26, my youngest being 21. right? My wife and I, Vanessa, been married, we'll be 27 years here in, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 days, not even that far away. Wow, that's amazing. But at any rate, so we put everything we had into our children, all of our energy and time. Now again, 21 to 26, right? So we had 3 little boys running around the house at the same time for a long time. And we had 3 teenagers running around the house at the same time. But we put everything we had into our children. But what was critical is that they did not become the sum of our existence, because one day those children will grow up and grow out. They will grow up and grow out. And you'll be the last thing that they think about. They're not going to think about you every day like they once did when they were children. And that's okay. That's how life works. But if my whole existence was predicated on my children or how they treated me one particular day or week or month or whatever, or whether they would give me attention or not, if my whole life was predicated on that, I wouldn't be around. So my life had to be about something far greater than just simply raising them. Although that was an incredible honor to do that, but that wouldn't be my life's work. Does that make sense? It wouldn't be my life's work. And anytime you take your identity and you make it predicated on something or other people or other group or some friendships or how well you ingratiate yourself with others, if that is the thing that makes you tick and that gives you value, then you're in trouble, because it's up and it's down. It ebbs and it flows when it comes to people and things. So see, you'll be an emotional wreck. So it's important when you, your identity, for me now, and I'm talking about for me, I recommend you do the same, but it's totally up to you. But my identity is tied up in God. Like, I'm interested in how He sees me first and foremost. So how does God see Kirk Ray Smith? How does He see me? What does God say I am to Him? Not what other people say I am. Not even what I say I am. Not even what my job says I am. Or my kids says I am. Or my bank account says I am. Or my car says who I am. Or my local church. Or my pastor. Or all of these spiritual people who, no matter what Kirk Ray says I am. But what does God say about me? And see, when you discover what He says, you'll be blown away. Because God put it to us this way. He said, this is what He said. I didn't say this. He said that each of us on this planet, every human being that He created, is fearfully and wonderfully made. Now, what that means is that we are all amazing. All of us are amazing. All of us are incredible, amazing, important people. All of us. That's what He says. Now, anybody or anything that says anything different from that, opposite or contrary to that, well, they're simply not telling the truth, because they didn't create you, so they don't know you like God knows you. And sometimes, again, I don't know about you, but I can remember plenty of times in my life where I'm putting myself down, not believing in myself, and calling myself far worse names than anybody else could. Even to the point where I hated my life on more than one occasion, folks. But no matter how I felt about me, oh man, it's hard not to get emotional. But no matter how I felt about me, God felt differently. No matter how much I didn't like me or my circumstance or situation, God saw me differently. And consistently, He said something different than me when I was in those states or emotions or points in my life. He always told me something different. He said, Kirk, I hear what you're saying. I know that's how you feel right now, but that has nothing to do with how I see you. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. And greater is He that is in you, meaning Himself, God, than he that is in the world, meaning the devil, the enemy. And the devil uses the enemy. He uses other people to communicate or pontificate his message of down in me and down in you. So he'll use other people to help break us down, and even people that we love, he'll use them against us as well. And he'll use people who you thought were loyal to you, who had your back, he'll use those very same people to come after you and to hurt you and to do things behind your back to break you down, to diminish and deteriorate whatever it is he's called you to do. That's how the enemy works. But God said, regardless of his tactics, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. So, if the Bible says, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, then it must mean that a weapon is being formed against you. Right? Like, if the Bible says no weapon formed against you shall prosper, that means that there is a weapon being formed against you and against me. Even as I speak right now, even as you listen to me now, there are weapons being formed against you. But the Bible says they will not prosper. So that means they're going to create the weapons, but whatever the weapons were intended to do, it will fail. It will not work. It will go wrong. It will backfire. Whatever ditch folks are digging for you, they'll dig them for themselves. So that's why me and you shouldn't get into battles with people and fight people all the time and go back and forth with them. You know, I heard a wise man once say, listen, if somebody invites you to an argument, don't accept the invitation. Walk away. Keep it moving. You see? So when you get this identity worked out, with how, so instead of trying to define yourself, give God the opportunity to define you. And then I guarantee you'll find yourself in him and you'll like what you see. So again, do you have a spiritual core? So now what about intimacy with God? Intimacy with self. Let me explain. Now when we think about intimacy on its surface, and this definitely means intimacy, we think, you know, okay, spending time with somebody, holding hands, hugging, kissing, whatever, okay. Going on dates, and nice strolls through the park. That's all intimate, and it's great, love it, awesome. But intimacy, so let's start with self. That how often do you speak to yourself? How often do you stop to have a conversation with you? Again, internal dialogue. Do you even know yourself? How familiar are you with you? Now, what you'll recognize as you get to know you better is you're going to recognize that the greatest threat to you on this planet isn't other people, right? But you are. The most significant threat to you is you. My biggest enemy is Kirk Ray Smith. He is my greatest enemy, even more so than the devil himself, because Kirk has a tendency, again, to put himself down, doubting himself, thinking the wrong thoughts, right? Sometimes making poor decisions, tolerating people that he shouldn't tolerate, listening to people or things he shouldn't listen to, watching things he shouldn't watch. I mean, Kirk Ray Smith is the greatest threat to me. Okay? Now, when you start talking about intimacy with God, then you take all that stuff that's wrong. You take all that stuff that's wrong with you. All that stuff that's wrong with you. You take all of that to God with you. Because when Jesus Christ saved me and when he saved you, he saved us utterly. That means every aspect of who we are, we came to be with him. So he knew that. Now, when you take it all to God, then God is going to help you work your way through all of that stuff and teach you how to overcome all of that stuff, to overcome your biggest enemy, which is you. See, when you're intimate with God, he will show you you, and at the same time, while he's showing you you, he's showing you himself. Because see, when you look at God, you're looking in the mirror. So if I'm looking in the mirror, I'm looking at myself. So I'm looking at a mirror, in the mirror, at me at the same time. So it's almost a simultaneous, no it is, a simultaneous act. So one is by virtue of the other. So if I'm looking at myself in the mirror and God is the mirror, I'm looking at God. And what God will do, he will begin to show you him through you. He will begin to show you himself through you. In other words, he'll manifest himself through you. So now what you become is an asset to God, because God needs humans to manifest himself through. Yes, he can manifest himself through the clouds. Yes, he can manifest himself through the trees. He can manifest himself through the stars and the moon and the other planets, and he can manifest himself through vegetation and all types of things. But the way, and the primary way in which he manifests himself is through me and through you. So God becomes visible through humans. So now you have went from a person in need of God, which we should remain in need, to an asset to him, a benefactor. Not just a beneficiary, but a benefactor. So now God can use you to do his work. So while he's using you to do his work, he's working on you at the same time. So doing his work isn't always the big stuff. So when you become intimate with God, then it becomes a reciprocal relationship, right? So now you and God, now you set up like this. Now it's two-way, right? See, God is giving, you're giving. See, that's how it works. And now when you enter an intimate relationship with God like that, now it becomes beneficial to the both of you. Now you can see your spiritual core start to develop and see yourself getting stronger. And I promise you this, your worldview will change, because you're going to start to look at things way differently than you did in the past. Now, as you're building a spiritual core, right? The other thing that's going to happen is you're going to find your level of integrity become far greater. Now, I asked you earlier, the question was, what kind of person are you? That's the question, right? What is your level of integrity? Are you truly an honest person, or are you a liar? Are you dishonest? Are you weak when it comes to good moral character? Right? Do you keep secrets? Right? What kind of person are you? Are you really a person of integrity, or are you sort of like this secret liar, this person that kind of, lies on the side and holds back the truth? See, that's not good. Now, I can tell you right now that as much as I strive to be a man of good moral character and a high level of integrity and all that, I'm working on every single day. You never really arrive. I never really arrive. But I try hard every day to be a better man. And see, you want to surround yourself with people with that same determination, who are driven and determined to be people of integrity and good, sound moral character that you can trust. Because see, those people you can trust. And see, when you are walking with God, here's what you're going to learn about him. God is a God of integrity. God does not lie. God always tells the truth. Always. He never lies, ever. He can't lie, because all he is truth. There's no darkness in God at all. And lies are darkness. And so as you walk with him, and again, it's two-way street. It's a reciprocal relationship where he's benefiting from you and you're benefiting from him. You will see your level of integrity begin to increase. And sometimes it's hard not to be honest, but it's hard to accept some of the backlash you're going to get from being honest. And some of the things you're going to have to deal with for telling the truth. And how people who aren't honest, how they will resist you and work against you and try to hurt you and bring you down, because they don't like the fact that you tell the truth. But it's never hard to be honest. It's not hard. It becomes easier and easier to tell the truth. Now, some of the things you deal with may be tough, but the truth becomes easy as you walk with God. Honesty becomes easy, because here's what you know when you tell the truth. See, when you lie, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how it's going to go down. But when you tell the truth, you know the outcome because God has given you the outcome. He said, you shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free. You hear that? It says, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. So if I'm telling the truth, then that means the folks who hear what I have to say are being what? Made free. Right? And if the folks that are hearing the truth come out of my mouth are being made free, then what's the chance of my freedom? So see, if I'm telling the truth and the truth will make you free, then that means I was free before I ever even told you the truth. Free from consequences, free from worrying about what somebody might do or say or try, free from any weapon formed against me prospering or working out, free from any ditch being dug for me of me falling in that, free of the fear of death itself, because I walk in the truth, because I walk intimately with God, I have an intimate relationship with God. My identity, the sum of who I am, is in Him, in Jesus Christ. So I ask you, what kind of person are you? Do you recognize your need for God? Or is it hard for you to see right now because things are going way too well? You're way too happy right now. Too much money. Too many trips, too much property. Too great of a job. Too great of friends. Too healthy to recognize your need for God. I caution you. I caution you to be cognizant of your need for God every single day. There won't be a day on this earth that you'll live that you won't need God or beyond. Recognize that. So I'm going to ask you 2 more questions, or 3 more. 1, what kind of person are you? 2, do you have a spiritual core? And lastly, are you too strong to be spiritual? Ask yourself these questions. So with that, we're going to wrap up the Church Express. True to what this is. This is the Church Express. 30 minutes or less. You're going to get some inspiration. Now, share it with people. People, be patient. Stop. Everything don't have to be a 5-minute video or a 3-minute clip. Man, sit down. Tell folks just to sit down for just 30 minutes out of your day. Just stop, get a bowl of cereal, whatever it is. Get your glass of wine, whatever you want, a soda, some juice, a bottle of water. Sit down and watch for a second and listen for a minute. And let somebody teach you something. You'll be amazed what can happen in your life if you would only listen, take this stuff to heart. You'll see changes in your life. So appreciate everybody. Please, guys, share the video. Make comments. Mention people in your comment section. That's the only way the video spreads. You got to mention others and share it with your friends, right? And let's do that all week until we meet again, because we'll be back again next Sunday at the same time. But I appreciate you all. Hope you all have a fabulous start to 2019. You have an incredible year, and just get stuff done. So have a great week. God bless you all, and be blessed. And remember to ask yourself this question: what kind of person am I? 1.
supposed to be under your name or under the?
No, my name. Because I'm trying to get people. What I'm doing is I do these big invitations. I'm trying to get limited up to like 1,000 followers before I do it live from there.
Oh, because for some reason it didn't. I mean, like usually it'll pop up like when I go on the Facebook. As soon
Or
as
you can get a recognition,
right.
a notification.
Yeah, it didn't pop up, and it usually does. And then I was like, okay, well, it didn't pop up. Let me go to the notification, and it didn't show up in my notification. So then I was like, I went under this unlimited, wasn't there. Then I went under your name, and it wasn't like this. It was something different.
Mm.
And then I had to click on it to get to it.
Okay.
So I don't know.
All right, that's good to know.
I don't know what happened. So I mean, it's like this now once you stop, but in order for me to get to it, it didn't look